welcome to another episode of Autistic with a Chance of Weather. I'm JP, your host. Today I'm going to be talking about why this week's episode is late, as I have been busy all week this week with the 2022 AMS conference, and these are some of the areas I want to talk about from the conference this year. The AMS, if you haven't figured out by now, is the American Meteorological Society. This year's meeting was supposed to be in Houston as a hybrid, both virtual and in person, but it was made all virtual except for the student conference due to the Omicron variant of coronavirus. I was planning on attending virtually anyway due to money as well as my work schedule. So here are some of my thoughts from the conference. The first day I went on Sunday was the Early Career Conference, which focused on mentoring as well as bridging the gap, as well as what to do with your career, like from different perspectives. So I thought it interesting, especially the unstructured mentorship talk, as I realized some of the stuff in my life as a meteorologist I had indeed gotten unstructured mentorship. Then Monday was the first official day of the main conference, although technically it was day 2. The first sessions I went to was in the aviation area about data assimilation, as well as the fact that I actually co-chaired one of the sessions. Although it's just one talk, I still co-chaired it. Then later on, they talked about sensors in aviation, which was pretty interesting considering how some of them are starting to fall behind a bit. Then I switched over to the Weather Ready Nation / emergency preparedness talks. I heard emergency managers talked a bit about their own experiences. Then day 2, it was the aviation talks were about icing and turbulence, as in forecasting them, as well as talking about how climate's affecting the aviation world. And during the lunch break, I was part of a panel discussion talking about my disability of autism and how the weather enterprise, like employers, can help my fellow autistics as well as other disabled individuals in the community, in the weather community, such as like how can the job process be improved. Then after lunch, I went to the Weather Ready Nation talk about how to better serve the marginalized community to get some insight of what's being done so far. Then Wednesday, the first talk I went to was in aviation, talking about developments in giving support for commercial space operations such as launches and landings. And then in the afternoon, I went to the Python session where they talked about some of the more newer libraries, including the latest updates on the MatPy library, which is very useful for meteorologists like myself. Thursday was the last day, and it was a pretty short day. The only talk I went to talked about the impact surfaces during extreme events at the National Weather Service, such as a major storm event in 2021 in the southeast. So I found it pretty interesting to get the insight from those working in the forecast offices in case I do get a job at the National Weather Service. And that pretty much wraps up what I did during the conference. I found it pretty insightful, especially in ideas of some possible future research ideas, including on the emergency management / both over the nation front as well as in the aviation field. Next week I will be back to my usual Wednesday schedule for episodes, so I'll see you then on Autistic with a Chance of Weather.